It's been a very, very difficult time for many of us in Kenya and in the world on the loss of the Right Honorable Raila Odinga. I had come to CI on Tuesday evening to attend the investor conference on Wednesday. I was a key speaker and note speaker at 2 o'clock to discuss the issues of blue economy, opportunities for investment as being an investor in CI. Discuss the issue of Lake Kanyaboli, to discuss the issue of Dominion, to discuss the issue of having airstrip as a border airstrip in Sia County, and the potential on Lower Zoya on agriculture when it comes to blue economy, and the huge potential we have as a county. So in the morning we got up, and as we were going to Sia, my phone was a buzz of activities, WhatsApp messages, calls from all over the world, asking me if it was true and if I'd heard what had happened. And as we were going to see the news had broken out that the late Raila Odinga was no more, and we were very devastated. And as you know, the conference was cancelled. I've known Raila since 2002 when I was a member of parliament, between 2002 and 2007 in the 9th Parliament. After that, I've not engaged myself much in politics. So Raila became both a friend, his family became family friends because I knew Ida very well, Junior, Winnie, and Rosemary. Fidel earlier was a very good friend of mine. So I was a very good family friend, and our families have been friends for many years. So it is quite difficult for us, some of us who spend time, even here in Kanyaboli, we spent a lot of time together with Ida and Raila when they wanted to get away from the hustle and bustle. A lot of Kenyans don't know the soft side of Raila. Raila is a very soft-spoken person. He was a very humble person. He never looked at people. He looked at people all the same, whether you're a professor, a doctor, somebody who's giving service to him. Raila treated all human beings equally. He loved his family. When they had discussions, he kept calling me for his wife's birthday, his daughter's birthday parties. He always invited me to his home. He would call me. He used to call me .com, and they, as a family, till today, call me .com, because when he went for his first trip on a presidential campaign to Australia, I went with him and Ida, and we ended up in Singapore buying iPods and iPads. And that time I was much younger than them, so I was one of the youngest members of parliament in the 9th Parliament. I was barely 35 years old, so I knew all these young things that youngsters at the time were consuming. So they used to call me .com because I used to show them all the latest things at the time. So that's how I got the name .com. And I used to call him Jacom, and I call Mama Minping till today. And that's the only language I used between myself and them. So yes, one thing I would tell you about Raila is that even in the battles that he had, he always left a window for negotiations in politics. He never bombed bridges, he never destroyed bridges. He was always optimistic. That's why he would talk even to people who were his competitors. I remember one time when we had gone to Ethiopia when he was infrastructure minister of the AU. He in a small discussion, even people like at the later stage of life, he told me he trusts Sahur with his heart when he was going for the campaigns in the last election. So he trusted people, he put trust in a lot of people, and when he trusted you, he trusted you. So that's something that was very specific to Raila. That was something that he did. He trusted a lot of people, and a lot of people also let him down in that trust. And so we wish during this period, as we mourn, as Kenyans mourn, as African mourns Raila Odinga, I think he was a great gentleman. He was a spirit. Raila was not just a normal human being. He was a spirit. He was a spirit that will live in many of us for a long time. He was a very happy, jolly person. If you ever sat down with him in a house, he'll crack jokes and entertain you more than you'll entertain him, because he was a very jolly person. It's unfortunate that he had a good run, and it was like a full stop. Raila did not go through illnesses. A lot of people go through long illnesses, he was still upbeat, running, exercising regularly, and keeping himself in good health. One thing I would also like to say is that about this 72-hour Raila has put in place. Many times I sat with him here. I remember he did exactly what Charles Jonjo did. Raila was not amused about how our community, especially the Luos, and not only Luos, us as Africans, would spend lots of money at funerals, spend a lot of time keeping bodies in mortuaries. It didn't amuse him at all. And he tried to talk about it in funerals. He tried to talk about it in functions, and a lot of people wouldn't listen to him. So I think he has now set himself as an example that this is the way we should go. That when somebody dies, a king dies. He even said that even the Muslims did a better job than many of us because they buried within 24 hours. But he believed that as a community, that we and even Africans should not spend miserizing the family, burdening the family with huge funeral expenses, feeding people, entertaining people at the hour of death. And I remember one time when we used to do fundraisings and Raila had control on how the money was raised. He would take 70% of the money and give the family and tell you to budget with the 30% of the funeral. He did it many times. I remember when the former Chamber of Commerce chairman, I can't remember his name, Kassim Owango, passed on. They were raising 10 million. He said, took the 7 million, told the family, sort yourselves out, and told the committee, this is 3 million, sort out the funeral. That was Raila. He didn't want wastage in society. He didn't want people to struggle after death, and it becomes more painful after death if you're left, families are left with huge funeral bills. One thing I would also like to as Kenyans, as leaders, that we should honor Raila because he was very passionate that the CDF, which I think now they call it GAF, that money should go to the counties on devolution. Members of parliament are not supposed to be doing development. They are supposed to be doing oversight and legislation. So you can't give the member of parliament the money and then again expect him to oversight money you have given him. There must be clear distinctions on what leaders are supposed to do in this country. The responsibility of a member of parliament is to legislate and to oversight. But he can't oversight himself. So if you give him money to oversight, that we are now not creating what you call separation of power. And on the issue of devolution, he had told me many times that we are having huge expenses by having so many devolved systems in this country. He preferred that we go back to the Bomas draft, where we had 13 counties, because we have a lot of wastage in the executive in the counties. If that he is still he was still saying the money will still be devolved to the counties the way it is being devolved today, but we need to reduce the government expenses in the county government. So by doing that, it becomes more administrative. So we should go back to the 13 counties and galvanize the other counties so that we have less ministers, less expenses, less MCAs, because you can't develop a country with the current. You can only develop a country with development funds. And he was very adamant about it, something we discussed with him many times. And the issue that really said that the problem we have now is that we have gone through a system. To change that system and to reverse those systems where the counties will be reduced will be a big tug of war, because people have enjoyed the current part of devolved, where you have ministers, flags, and all these expenses, and county hotels, and people going for meetings, and people expending money at the county level. So it was a concern to him. I can tell you, he was asking, why would you not go to Kisumu from Siaya, from Migori, from Homa Bay? It's not a far distance to go and have an assembly. People are going from their constituencies all over Kenya to go back to Nairobi. Kisumu can be the headquarters for Nyanza. We put lower rift and upper rift. We put because that's the only province that is large. So those are things we had discussed with him in private. And I can tell you, he loved his family, he loved his grandchildren. He tried as much as possible of his political time to spend with them. time, and we would exchange hearty laughs on issues of family. So, with those very remarks, I would like to also talk about our current situation as a party ODM. It's interesting that we had a rush to without consultation across the board to put in somebody interim at this particular moment. I think it would have been respectful for us, even as a party, that until we get put like Honorable Raila to rest, that we don't start engaging in hefty things. It is not a president. ODM is a party, it's a national party. We need to look and consult broadly before we do certain things as a party. I know in the party, as the other day I had my friend Fred Mishmel say that because Raila's gone, a lot of people feel threatened, so they want to secure themselves in certain grounds. And he cracked a joke that when the ocean goes, it goes with a lot of things into when the river goes, it goes a lot of things into the ocean. So there are people who are threatened today after the death of Honorable Raila and who have been holding onto his coat and jacket and trying to own him politically. They feel threatened. So they try and coerce in various groups to secure their interest. So we need to make sure, even as a community, when we're choosing leadership, we choose sober leadership. We have had an opportunity to have a leader that has been able to coerce, the whole community has been able to coerce about him, a man of wisdom, a man of courage, and a man who took our community and made it proud. So today we must look carefully